The real-time 3D volumetric sonar at the heart of the Francis Scott Key Bridge salvage operation. On March 26, 2024, a catastrophic collision into the Francis Scott Key Bridge by the Dali vessel resulted in its collapse. What ensued was a disaster emergency response that had to be coordinated efficiently to search for missing persons, establish the scale of the disaster in the highly turbid waters, and execute an effective recovery and salvage operation. Sonar technology was at the heart of the fast-paced and effective recovery and salvage operations. As the governor of Maryland, Mr. Westmore, stated, "Sonar tech was key to bridge recovery effort." That sonar tech was the Echoscope pipe real-time 3D volumetric sonar. The sonar imagery, which was beamed across the world by many news channels, were those created in real time using the Echoscope pipe real-time 3D volumetric sonar. The water and seabed conditions were also very challenging, as USAC Baltimore stated. The underwater sonar imaging tool, known as Coda Octopus Echoscope, is the primary survey tool used by divers, with visibility clouded to just 1 to 2 feet because of the 4 to 5 feet of mud and loose bottom of the Patapsco River. It was Coda Octopus Echoscope pipe real-time 3D volumetric sonar that was at the heart of this recovery and salvage effort, and was crucial to meet the unified command milestones highlighted here. Unified command milestones. March 30th. Bridge wreckage removal begins. April 2nd. First of 3 temporary alternate channels opens. April 7th. Removal of containers from the Dali begins. April 25th. Limited access channel opens 300 feet wide, 35 feet deep. May 9th. Recreational vessels allowed to pass through Francis Scott Key Bridge. May 13th. Controlled demolition of Section 4, which had pinned the Dali under a 10 million pound segment of bridge wreckage. May 20th. Dali refloated and moved, federal channel cleared to a width of 400 feet and depth of 50 feet. June 4th. The last major piece of steel truss was removed from the federal channel. June 10th. Federal channel fully reopens. What is the Echoscope pipe real-time 3D volumetric sonar, and why is it a unique sensor for these operations? The Echoscope pipe real-time 3D volumetric sonar is a real-time 3-dimensional 3D imaging sonar which can generate 3-dimensional images in real time underwater in zero visibility water conditions. It is widely used in the offshore marine industry for multiple underwater applications, including recovery and salvage, single sensor, multiple underwater applications. The real-time 3D capability of the Echoscope pipe real-time 3D volumetric sonar was crucial to help recovery and salvage team working on the Francis Scott Key Bridge operation to achieve the mission-critical milestones in record time, including identifying missing vehicles with victims of the incident, providing real-time monitoring for safe diver access to the disaster site, providing real-time visualization capability for removing the mangled debris from the seabed to facilitate the opening of the shipping lanes, and all the time providing real-time monitoring of the underwater environment and activities. The Echoscope Pipe Real-Time 3D Volumetric Sonar, combined with the Echoscope LiDAR, seamlessly provided combined below and above the waterline images of the disaster site. Many of these images were beamed across the world by many U.S. news channels. What specifically was the Echoscope Pipe Real-Time 3D Volumetric Sonar used for on the Francis Scott Key Bridge operations? Creating a full 3D model of the Francis Scott Key Bridge post-collapse prior to salvage operations. Search and identification of bridge worker vehicles in the debris for recovery response. Assessment and monitoring of the integrity of the dolly container ship hull. Daily real-time 3D monitoring and 3D modeling of the active salvage area for all planning, diver entrance, and recovery operations. Real-time 3D monitoring of divers' safe entry points against the last known 3D model. Real-time 3D monitoring and visualization of cutting, crane grab, and recovery operations with divers for full scene awareness. Daily channel clearance survey modeling to provide accurate depths and remaining obstructions for safe channel opening. Creating a full 3D model of the Francis Scott Key Bridge post-collapse prior to salvage operations. Full 3D imagery and scene awareness from the bridge above and below the waterline was created in 3D and in real time. The Echoscope Pipe Real-Time 3D Volumetric Sonar and Echoscope LiDAR surveys were critical for the comprehensive understanding and therefore the risks in the subsea environment and understanding the state of the collapsed bridge structure underwater. These surveys provided a seamless transition of imagery of the bridge below and above the waterline, which was important for authorities to understand and assess the bridge state and condition in the days following the collapse in the zero visibility water conditions where cameras were ineffective. Search and identification of bridge worker vehicles in the debris for recovery response. After the unfortunate events, sadly lives were lost when vehicles entered the water when the bridge collapsed. The Echoscope pipe was used efficiently to identify the vehicles' locations quickly and recover them to the surface. Assessment and monitoring of the integrity of the dolly container ship hull. The Echoscope Pipe Real-Time 3D Volumetric Sonar data was used by authorities to take important measurements to understand the draft clearance from riverbed under the vessel. The ship hull Echoscope surveys provided 3D imagery of the ship hull for structural damage assessment. The Echoscope Pipe Real-Time 3D Volumetric Sonar data was also used to calculate the ship's penetration into the seabed, where the hull was resting on the riverbed. Daily real-time and 3D modeling of the active salvage area for all planning, diver entrance, and recovery operations. The live 3D Echoscope pipe inspection was important for authorities to monitor and visualize in real time the bridge structure rebar in contact with vessel. This provided full underwater understanding and how the container ship was in contact with the bridge structure, aiding salvage preparation. Real-time 3D monitoring of divers' safe entry points against known last 3D model. It is critical in these fast-moving environments that divers can safely enter the site. The Echoscope Pipe Real-Time 3D Volumetric Sonar was critical in providing real-time monitoring. The collapse site involved masses of sharp, twisted metal compounded by low-visibility water conditions, making the site hazardous for divers, and therefore using the Echoscope to monitor the divers and provide safe entry points in a dynamic and fast-moving disaster recovery situation was priceless to these operations. Real-time 3D monitoring and visualization of cutting, crane grab, and recovery operations with divers for full scene awareness. Supervisors were able to use the Echoscope Pipe Real-Time 3D Volumetric Sonar data to direct divers on where hazards were during live cutting operations. 3D measurements taken live to understand distances to hazards and targets, allowing the operations to be carried out as quickly and safely as possible. The Echoscope pipe real-time 3D volumetric sonar was key for monitoring and providing visualization of the crane grab over the subsea target to be removed, allowing salvage operators to precisely guide the crane grab over the target to be removed by using the live 3D Echoscope pipe imagery and measuring tools for added safety, and could observe the 3D scene changing in real time. Daily channel clearance survey modeling to provide accurate depths and remaining obstructions for safe channel opening. The Echoscope pipe survey showing the underwater state was critical for providing draft requirements. The Echoscope data allowed for depth measurements of the bridge structure resting in the bottom of the channel. This was essential in the beginning for the vessels entering the disaster location. The data was used to calculate the drafts of vessels that could safely enter the channel, allowing the recovery and salvage operations to begin. Echoscope technology, a technology of choice for disaster recovery operations. Conclusion. The Coda Octopus Echoscope pipe sonar technology proved to be invaluable for the recovery and salvage operations following the Skotskei Bridge collapse. The technology is at the forefront of the market for subsea visualization for multiple underwater activities, including disaster response and salvage operations. The real-time 3D sonar technology is unrivaled in allowing a rapid response to surveying disaster locations and assisting in the salvage and recovery operations. Underwater targets, including missing persons, are identifiable in real time with no survey processing required to understand the underwater scene in 3D, allowing for rapid response in emergency situations. Real-time visualization of the salvage operations adds to increased productivity and safety and can be used to minimize the need to put divers in the water for certain assessment tasks. The Echoscope was critical in identifying the container debris on the seabed and then positioning the salvage grab over targets for recovery, providing safe entry points for tracking the divers to their positions as required by the operations. And in general, the Echoscope was the underwater eyes for providing real-time monitoring of the subsea recovery activities. Equipment suite and software used in the France's Skotskei Bridge salvage and recovery work scope. The Echoscope technology has been used worldwide on many salvage and recovery projects. A snapshot of these are: For more information, you can reach us by email at sales@codaoctopus.com or call our worldwide sales number +44 13155531380 or +14073524000 in the Americas.